Good evening, good evening, good evening, everyone. You are here. It's Thursday night. We are doing our Thursday night hour session. I apologize for being late. I have been on a mission, but that's where you are tonight. You are on the Thursday night Health and Wellness Live. So let me bring my buddy Martin on. I know you guys aren't asleep. Please feel free to comment, um, do whatever so that we can have a good time tonight. And as always, you can support me by sending stars. That'll help me to earn money to make more content. I told you I'm bringing it this year. Well, let's just say right now, let's see what happens. But in the meantime, welcome, welcome, welcome. Okay, let's see what we've got going on here. I am Jewel, your host, and I'm going to be bringing on Martin. Uh, I see him, I see you. And let me see what else I can conjure up before I bring him on. I think he's ready. He's like me. Let's go, let's go. Here we are. Hey, buddy, how you doing?
Hi, Jewel. How are you? How's your Thursday going?
Listen. I'm on a roll right about now. I'm
Let's go.
operating on adrenaline. I will say this: my notebook is gone, so I'm gonna get that in a few minutes. What we're talking about tonight is a carryover from our Tuesday live, and so. Anybody wants to come on, feel free. What I am going to do is put the link on YouTube. If you're watching on YouTube, I will pin it to the comments section. But in the meantime, I am going to bring my buddy Martin on so that you guys or let him talk so that we can put our information at the bottom. You can go to Linktree, you can follow us, and I think there was another one that I have, but in the meantime, go ahead, Martin. I'm going to let you do the introduction, and I will uh, get my notes, okay?
Okay, no worries. Yeah, that was a great topic. I know that on Tuesday we were talking about, and it being Valentine's Day, we were talking about snacks and sweets and how we can use different ingredients or substitute ingredients to kind of get that feeling that we're looking for, but not have to deal with the bad stuff in the food, or dealing with bad ingredients that are going to cause more harm than good. So this is a chance for us to kind of go in a little more on our specific examples or things that we did do to substitute those ingredients to kind of get what we wanted. For me, it was very simple. I went to Trader Joe's. They had some banana bread. They have a vegan banana bread that I go with. I got that, and they had some. It was a strawberry. It was a non-dairy strawberry, made out strawberry flavor, made out of oat milk ice cream. And I just had some banana bread with some strawberry ice cream. Nothing too crazy, but this still same mindset of I want to have a cake thing with kind of a ice cream thing, but I don't want to deal with drinking regular milk, or doing this or doing that, or dealing with the white flour from cake or such forth from bread. So there was just little substitutes there. Now, obviously, is that something that I go to, um, you know, once a week or twice a week? Not even. Eating ice cream or eating those type of foods maybe once a month, twice a month. Obviously, it was a holiday, Valentine's Day. It was an event or some sort of nature of that, some along that nature of being able to kind of go into having a little more sweets, kind of having a little more pleasure for yourself, and treating yourself with a nice little snack or a meal or ice cream and such forth from there. So for me, it's all about being able to kind of find your limits and understand, hey, I want to eat some ice cream or I do want to eat some cake. Maybe let me go about it in a different way and look at some different ingredients. So I know we had those 12 plant-based recipes on there. They look delicious. I wanted to see if Jewel actually tapped into any of those recipes and tried any. But like I said, those were some intricate ideas. Whether you wanted to do a cake style or a quick snack, or like a little chocolate puff balls, a little snack on the go, whatever you wanted, those were options is there. So yeah, I just went with a classic little ice cream with a little bread on the side, nothing too crazy, but I just did it in a more plant-based, a different type of avenue, in that way. And then along that way, it's not just saying, oh well, I did get this food, did get these plant-based, I'm gonna eat it 3 times a week, or 5 6 times out of the month, and still along, even if you are eating healthy, it's you still don't want to overabundance or overeat those moments. What we're saying is, when you get the good food and you get the good ingredients, the nourishment that you need, you'll find yourself eating less, and that's our main goal. And from this, if you're eating less, obviously that's when you start thinning down, your stomach gets a little smaller, your appetite gets a little smaller, and that's our number one objective, and that's our number one goal. So our thing is not to say, hey, we don't want to feel good, we don't want to taste food. We encourage flavors, seasoning, herbs just as much as anybody else, you know to get that same feeling and that same type of feelings when you're eating it, right? Obviously, when you're preparing it, you want to still go through the same routine. You don't want to all of a sudden have to do a different type of prep work. But with, whether it's if it is substituting for a meat, whether it's mushrooms, jackfruit, or any other type of substitute for a meat, the process is relatively the same, and such forth from there with sweets and snacks. Obviously, is it just as easy as you going to a 7-Eleven or a local grocery, just grabbing a bag and having it on the go? No, obviously not. But you're paying with your labor, those side effects that you don't want to go get, but also the guilt that you don't want to feel. I know every single one of us, when we're eating something that we know we shouldn't be eating, we have that guilt feeling. We have that guilt conscious after, and that thing doesn't go away. That conscious doesn't go away for a couple hours, maybe the next day, until you get a good workout and you're like, okay, finally I worked it off. But there's no reason to go through that, especially now you're just beating your mindset up, and it's going to affect other areas of your life, work, relationships, whether you just being more excuse me, more up on the go of getting a workout in, finishing your errands, going out grocery shopping, whatever it is. It's, when you have that cake, it shouldn't just have you on the couch for 30 minutes, 45 minutes, not having you move, or the burrito or this or that, whatever it is. So, like I said, I was able to indulge and have a good little meal, something that I don't partake in a often, but when I do, I can enjoy it and not look at it as, oh, here's my and I didn't even look at it as a cheat meal. Honestly, I didn't look at it as a cheat meal. Obviously, once you're eating well, you're kind of like, well, I don't really need to eat that. And sometimes when you find yourself cheating, you find yourself cheating on meals when you're around other people, who don't have your lifestyle, who don't have your kind of decision making in terms of discipline, in terms of what you're putting into your mouth, what you're drinking, and such forth from there. And I'm not saying, uh, you know, those are bad people, don't hang out with them. You just have to have more control. I mean, what is it to have yourself say, I'm this type of person, I'm this type of person, but the first second you're tempted, you break. Well, then, are
Right.
you really that person that you say you are, or do you really have that character or that discipline or that focus to be like, you know what, I'm gonna bring my own food to prepare. I've done that many times. Like when I know I'm going to a barbecue, I'm not gonna bring food to prepare because they're preparing their own food. I just bring my own food, and whether it's a little snack or I just know, hey, you know what, I'm not gonna eat as much. I'll eat their sides. I'm just not gonna have the main meal. I can't. This lifestyle is not like, well, everyone should conform to me and this and that. No, it's not. This is not a norm. What a norm is what we've been doing. And Joel and I are sitting here and saying, hey, it's not working. What people have been doing in the past is not working. If it was,
That's
things would be
right.
much different. Things would be acting different. from divorce rates to kids being obese, from adults being on prescription drugs, dealing with depression, anxiety, day-to-day challenges. It's not working. So we want to come at a holistic, natural way of thinking where it's you. It starts with you. Obviously, we can help you. We're the professionals that can say we can help you find who you are and what works with you. But until then, you're just going to be grabbing this. Oh, I think this diet works. I think these foods work. Oh, I think this workout works. It's never going to be enough. There's thousands of workouts, thousands of different meal preps. You have to find the one that works for you. And until you figure that out, and along that journey, you're just going to keep going through obstacles and hurdles. And the thing that frustrates me is you can waste time, you can waste events and opportunities. But I know one thing most people don't want to lose is money.
Ah,
And people are, well, should I eat this? Should I not? Should I eat out? Should I not eat out? Should I go here? Should I not go here? Should I go on vacation? Should I not go on vacation? Let's start with you realizing where you're putting your buck. And everyone wants to put a buck towards something that is going to change eventually for their matter. So what we're saying is, for us, and I know Jewel thinks as well,
one
but for me,
down.
most important is the money that you're spending obviously is most important for you, but for us, the most important is your time. Your time is the most important. I know, well, I got work. Well, I got to see my kids. I'm just going to grab something on the go. I understand that, but when you need that time to be to your own, and that time to be by yourself and recollect and regenerate and be ready for the next day, we want those to be regeneration, recovery, and strong and vibrant, and so you're ready for the next day. But most of the time, there are times for individuals to lay back and say and just and try to reset what just happened. Man, what a long day. Man, what a
Ah,
long weekend. Man, what a long month. Oh man, December and January are filled with holidays. I think I need to relax over the next couple weeks. For You can't afford that. You can't afford that. And especially with what we're given with right now, with the amount of technology, the amount of I mean, during COVID and such, I get it, but right now, transportation, meeting people, relationships, communication, you don't even have to be going anywhere physically, but just being present to phone calls, text messages, Facebook groups, being in, following podcasts, being present, being someone that you wanna be, not just going through the motions, but being someone that you would look up to if you weren't you, if you saw you as a third person, like, wow, I like how she's moving, wow, she's confident, she's a great communicator, love the way she moves, or wow, look at that guy, humble, strives to be a leader, love the way he moves, look at him as a role model. Those are the things you should be looking for. You should look at yourself as a role model. There are people in your circle that look up to you, whether you know or you don't know. Some of you have kids. Obviously, that's your first circle of people that are going to be looking up to you. But beyond that, your relatives, your brothers, your sisters, your cousins, your aunts, your uncles, that all affects them. They don't really care. Hey, I did this and I did this. They don't care. It's time. It's consistency. What have you been doing over time is what's going to prove to me whether the messenger is true about what he's saying with whatever it is, becoming a dentist, becoming a lawyer, becoming a plumber, an electrician. It takes time to do that, and it's a lifestyle that you have to take on. And that's the number one thing is like, oh, I'm getting this job. I want to look that way. Whether it's like I want to be a lawyer, I got to get a briefcase. I want to get some suits. I want to look. I want to get a couple books to kind of fix my lingo. As much as you're trying there for your promotion and getting your job done, you should be trying that much to strive as your life, your day-to-day basis, to be as best as possible as a role model. I want to eat the best foods. I want to eat food that's going to give me nourishment so I can think at my best. I want to think about how I can challenge myself. The biggest thing I think is being able to strive to get a new hobby. Some of us are so timid in terms of getting outside of our comfort zone. It's because I'm just used to eating this. I'm just used to doing this. I'm just used to going in, clocking in here, and you're not, that willpower within you. It doesn't grow. It doesn't want to attain more or challenge more or prosper more. So With me, I always relate that to what you're putting in. If you want this to work, if you want your body to work for you, it's an engine. It needs food. It needs energy. It needs oil. It needs something in it to give it that vibration, to give it that energy to get going. So for me, foods, and especially if it's even a cheat meal. I could have gone to McDonald's or whatever Dairy Queen, Cold Stone, to get an ice cream, and even those places have dairy free options as well. So the biggest thing that I can say is when I see someone taking on their nutrition, that for me shows that someone is willing to be more accountable with their decision making going forward, whether it's eating, working out, being active, keeping up their promises to people, being their best version of people. That doesn't, you don't have to get paid for that. And sometimes, and if that's hard for you, like if it's hard for you to get out of bed and get ready and change, I understand if you have a sickness, an illness, a disability, or this and that. I totally get that. But if you're just, oh, my back, my ankle, my knee, oh, I don't feel like it, oh, I'm tired, I don't have no energy. Those are things we can fix. And for me, it's all about what you're reading, what you're listening to, what you're eating, what you're drinking, what you're hydrating with, what's your daily routine look like? Is it filled with stress? Are you doing anything to take away that stress? And for me, food is a big thing that takes away stress away from me. And I want to know that, hey, I worked out and I'm not going to just eat something and harm myself and be like, oh, why am I losing weight? Well, you ate, maybe half a pound of rice, and that's the recommendation, but that's not what's recommended for you, for your body. So, like I said, all we're trying to do here is help you understand that there is no perfect way to lose weight, gain weight, get the six pack, feel great. But there is a way for you. And what we try to do is find that pathway, find that equation that works for you. These foods, this time, this activity, find that equation that works for you, and boom, we're gonna run with it and go from there. But I think, I'm confident, just as anybody. But when it comes to finding that equation, that customization, that personalization that works just for the person, for their mind, spirit, and soul, I think Jewel and I are the ones that do that the best. Because for me, when the results come, it's not a matter of if the results are coming, it's a matter of when. And that's the most important, is understanding that results is number one. I'm not pulling back on the results. Now it's, how long do you want the results to come in time? Is it going to take a month? Is it going to take 3 months? Is it going to take 6 months? Are we going to have to build up for a good couple of weeks, and all of a sudden you had a bad 3 or 4 days? It's going to set you off. I'm going to say, I'll be honest with you, 1 or 2 bad days is not gonna harm you as much as if you're doing 5 to 6 days consistent. Those 1 or 2 days are not going to throw you off. Now, if you're not as consistent and you're taking 3 or 4 days off in the week, and you want to try to do these exercises and these kind of things, obviously results will vary. And I'm not going to sit here and lie to you, but if you do take it on, if you do take on the mindset 100%, accountability in terms of where you want to go, and how you want to get there, we're certainly the ones to help you get there. And for me, some people can't even sit down with their own minds and come up with, hey, how would I want my perfect day to look like? How would I get from here, point A to point B? Most people can't do that. They need a beer, or they need a smoke, or they need some sort of indulge on some ice cream while they're writing notes. They need something, or a coffee. They need something to help them stimulate that process going forward. And for me, it is what it is. If that's what you need, that's fine. Have your beer, but write down the notes. Have your cigarette, make sure you write down the notes. And eventually you're cleaning up your meal prepping, you keep cleaning up your meals, then that's totally fine. But we got to be serious with this. We've got to be serious in terms of kind of what are we actually going up against? Are we really going up against sweets and desserts and muffins and donuts? Really, that's your hardest. That's what you're scared of the most. Come on. So what we say is, if it is, and if you're, oh, I gotta have my ice cream, I gotta have my donut, I gotta have my cake. Okay, substitute it. We're finding different recipes that are good. not good, maybe just as good or even better, tasting wise. That are going to keep you full. You're getting the real thing, and you don't have to kind of worry about fillers and bad toxins, toxic ingredients in the in those meals, especially when it comes to sweets.
Uh-uh.
They're loaded with sugars. They're loaded with just so much bad fillers that we don't want to deal with. So, yeah, I was just talking a little bit about the meal prepping and kind of what it leads to. For me,
Yeah.
on Tuesday, I just did a little of the vegan banana bread from Trader Joe's, and then they had some non-dairy strawberry ice cream. I don't want to divulge too much into it because, like I said, for me, I don't really regard myself as vegan. I regard myself as more of a plant-based. I try to use as less ingredients as possible. But like I said, when you're out and you want to get that, enjoy that feeling or enjoy that taste, here's a nice little way. And it was great because I wasn't like starving it. I was full, I had like 4 or 5 scoops, had maybe a third of the bread. And I was like, man, this feels great. I'm in heaven right now. This is paradise. So
Yeah.
what are
So,
your thoughts on the sweet? And then what were your choices that you went with in terms of the Valentine's Day snacks? And then what are your thoughts on the snacks in general in terms of how important that is?
yeah, you know what? I actually was going to bring up that website, and I noticed that the uh, uh, Wi-Fi connection may not be as strong. So I was going to bring up that website, but um, probably not this time. Maybe moving forward, we'll be able to bring up the websites to show the different foods
Mm,
while we're on here. But just like you said, I liked a couple of them. I like the cranberries. I like the um, anything with the sun butter to
mm,
substitute. But what I do want to say is let's talk about the difference, because I know there's somebody out here that wants to understand the difference between eating raw, the difference between vegan, the different, there's so many different terms that I think people are just now starting to realize. We've been doing this forever. And now you see more celebrities going raw. You see more celebrities turning vegan. So let's talk about that for a minute and see who's in the comments, who wants to ask a question. Okay, thank you, Virginia. So she said great information. So yeah, is there anybody on here that wants to know the difference raw versus vegan, or the reason why? Let's just tell them the reason why you eat raw.
yeah, I mean, for me, there's always going to be ingredients out there as the vegan agenda and the plant-based agenda has taken over. For me, I switched over just because I realized that with meat and dairy, it was really putting an effect on my body. Um, I've really, really seen a difference between drinking milk, eating dairy as if it was just, and I'm not saying overindulge, but just eat it as normal. And the problems that it caused my bones, especially my lower body, because I was more of a soccer player, my ankles were being fractured, my toes, my foot isn't as strong, and I spoke to a doctor when I was in Germany. He said that your muscles are outgrowing your bones are not as strong. You need to get your bones stronger. The density, they've lost density over time, and that's the reason for why all of the mishaps on your bones and fracturing and this and that. And he said, think about the foods that you're eating. Obviously, me being Middle Eastern, there's some foods that might affect my body different than others. It's just the DNA thing. And I looked into it, and one of the biggest things that I started reading into was the dairy, and how it affects your bone density and what it does to your digestive system, and then the meat as well. I found the meat really was throwing off my, I would say, not my bone or my structural problem, but just my digestive problems, having stomach problems, not knowing not planning the right time when I'm going to go to the bathroom or not. Sometimes it would be like after a half hour, sometimes it'd be after 4 hours, and I would eat the same meal. I'm like, what the heck's going on? You know,
Wow.
and it would just throw off my meal. And once I started, and the first thing I started doing was substituting. So I started
Okay.
substituting the meat. I started substituting the dairy, and I would say my training levels went even like higher. I was able to train harder. I was able to train longer. I wasn't worried about having any stomach problems or digestive problems. So I was able to get more confidence in my training and go harder and longer from there. And like I said, the biggest thing for me is meat from now is not the same meat from 20 years ago.
Okay.
There's a lot of artificial flavors, preservatives, um, and also pesticides that are put in the food or that is eaten by the animal to keep that nourishment or that meat there longer or fresher longer. So I could tell that those were kind of throwing my body off now. So that's the reason why for me I still see similar labels, maybe different name, but still similar preservatives, similar artificial flavors in vegan food. And my whole thing is I want to get away from that. It's not I'm not eating meat, but you're eating about 20 chemicals in that little thing that is supposed to be a cookie. And at the same token, I don't want to do anything like that. So my whole thing is, obviously, if I have to and I'm on the go, I'll grab something at this grocery store or at the gas station. They do have substitute meals, snacks, but not the best choices, right? And there's like loaded with ingredients that aren't on there, or loaded with stuff that you could have made at home with probably 7 or 8, with a total of maybe 4 or 5 ingredients. So that's my whole thing there. It's not something that I've read. Obviously, I've read and watched movies and articles and documents. So I use that, but my number one source is myself. My number one source isn't an outside source or an experiment or an article that I read. My number one source is myself, and
Yeah.
I had to see what worked, what didn't work, how much I could have of it, how least of it I couldn't. And for me, it was just like, you know what, I feel great with what I'm doing. I feel more accountable, and now I'm eating 3 or 4 meals in the day, fruit, veggies, non-dairy, non-meat. I don't eat fish as well. I don't eat egg. I know some people like eggs. Like, I don't eat. They just don't eat flesh. So there's whole lot of different complexities.
Oh,
Some people.
see, and I'm allergic to eggs. So I cook with eggs, but I don't eat eggs like scrambled eggs or eggs Benedict, none of that. Here's a question for you, Martin.
Mm.
Um, Virginia was saying, what proteins do you eat in a raw diet?
Yeah, so for me, in a raw diet is more of a plant based. So I look at it as not just protein, but fiber. Protein is great for your muscles and for your overall muscle density, to keep your tone, to keep your skin tight, so it doesn't look. Because some people are skinny, but I call them skinny fat, where their skin is like soft and their belly is soft and their legs are soft, and they're just skinny fat. Like they just can't grow in size, but they're just not, having a tone. So my whole thing with eating raw is vegetables, and try to stay as much as vegetables, because you'll get the protein, you'll get your iron, you'll get your fiber from there as most. The biggest ones that I mess around with is mushroom. There's so many different ways you can do a mushroom. If you have the portobello mushroom, you can start handling burgers with it. If you get the slices of mushrooms, you can start doing something where you can saute it, put in a little like a stew, something like a stew sort of thing with other vegetables, and you can get your protein fiber from having a little more dosage of the mushrooms. I know we've spoken a little in the past about jackfruit. That could be something where it could be a substitute as well, because the texture, depending on how
Yeah.
you prepare it, it has that thick feeling, and then with your
Meat.
dressing and season, yeah,
Yeah.
and then
It
with your
is. It is the meat of the jackfruit. Yeah.
exactly.
Yeah.
And so, like I said, with how you prepare it, you can season it. You can do that just as you were doing a steak or ground beef. Season it, marinate it, put your herbs in there, put it in a saucepan. Put it with a little lemon juice, as well, and you can just cook those individual meat slices from the jackfruit but they'll thaw
Right.
out like a pulled pork. They'll thaw out like a pulled chicken type of feel, and then the biggest one for raw the for protein as well. And some people don't look at it as one, but I kind of like this for women is tofu. It has a good amount of soy in there for estrogen, which is healthy for women. And tofu comes in all forms. You can get the firm kind, you get the soft kind, and from there you can literally season, marinate it, and put whatever flavors you want on it to get that similar feel of if you want to cook, whatever cuisine you want, whether it's tacos, burritos, more of a stew with rice, more of an entrees. If you want to cook, 4 or 5 different things, you can have like tofu, veggies, some grains, whether it's couscous or quinoa. Those are the number one things. So yeah, those are how I would think about raw foods for protein. But with protein, also think about fiber. Fiber is a big source that'll help our digestion as a human, but also to help our cravings. So we're not just craving. And for me, proteins are great, but also I don't want to go too much into the proteins because I always want to push for a well balanced meal. Even if you are trying to lose weight and you want to cut off carbs, don't stop eating carbs at all. Just have a little small portion of quinoa, a little small portion of couscous, because as soon as you eliminate something, your body's just like, what the heck's going on? What did you
Yeah.
just do? And as
I
soon as you
love
get it back,
couscous. I
yeah,
do
yeah,
love
and
couscous.
yeah, I
Yeah.
love couscous too because it's simple, it's easy, it's effective. But for the biggest thing, it keeps me full. With regular white rice, I can eat pounds and pounds, and I'm just like, this is my meal. I don't need anything. I can just keep eating this, But that's not the point. It's whatever you are. We want it to be as potent as possible. We want as much as that real thing in there. And when it goes in your body, it's more nutrients, more better for your blood, better for your concentration levels, and you just overall feel better. So that's what I would
Yeah.
recommend for raw plants. And I like the fact that you said raw foods. Sometimes there is vegan options for substitute, whether it's proteins, meats, and this and that. But I look on the back and there's like 20 different ingredients on there, and I would
Yeah.
my whole thing is if you're eating meat already, try to go as lean as possible, as less processed as possible. The problem is
Yeah.
people are thinking that they're going to get the same results eating meat by paying $2 a pound for it. Guys,
Mm.
80 in the 80s and 90s, you can get away with that. Nowadays, they're just loading it up with fillers. They're
Fillers.
load, and
Yeah.
it's not what you're looking for. So I'm not going to sit here and say eliminate the protein, don't eat protein. My first thing is eat your protein, but eat the best source possible. You
Right.
know.
That's what I say. Especially now, I think once people realize that they can eat better, um, and then to be creative, which is why we're on this platform tonight, hoping to get people to ask questions. And this is the time to get the questions answered. And then if we're not able to answer the questions because perhaps you have a disease or a diagnosis, that's when you go to the my platform and do the one-on-one. So go to Linktree, a simply Linktree or simplyjewel.com. The same stuff is on Linktree, but it's separate and it's all on one platform.
Mm.
That way you can learn how to make healthier choices. You can also learn what you need to do. You may need a diet for a week or one for a month, and it becomes repetition. Then
Mhm.
once you lose the weight, then you go to Martin, to Hustlers headquarters, and start forming your body. Some people like to work out while they're dieting, but some people, I don't know why that is. You got to get your mind right
Yes.
first
Mhm.
and then start making transformation changes, because whatever it is, you're going to have to lose the weight first, get your mind right, and then flip and go to Martin and start forming your body. You'll start to see the muscle mass, you'll start to see everything form. But if you start a diet and you're not emotionally and mentally ready, you either one plateau or you don't reach your goal because it's not realistic.
Mm-hmm.
So that's what this is all about. We're just trying to help you guys get on board. We're creating a platform so everybody knows on Tuesdays you go to Instagram, we talk about a subject, and then on Thursdays you come over here. We're going to be live on Facebook and on YouTube. So when you want to go back and listen to these, make sure you go to Simply Jewel TV, click on the lives. They're not going to be uploaded anymore. And then Virginia, who has been supporting us tonight, thanks, Virginia. She and I are going to be putting information on YouTube. Talking about these medical stuff. She's a former EMT for over 30 years. She's now with these natural patches. Did you see that, Martin? I don't know if you saw that.
Mm.
Um, yeah, so when you get a chance, go to my threads and you'll
Okay.
see we've done a podcast, and then she introduced her product, and it's about these patches, and I just went berserk because my science mind just was like, what? So yeah, you'll see me acting up on
Beautiful.
that.
No,
But yeah,
yeah, beautiful, and I like the fact that you said that because I'll have people that wanna, hey, I wanna lose weight, I wanna get in the gym, I wanna get better, and I'm like, okay, and I give them all the ingredients, but they don't have the mindset. They have the blueprint, they have the map, they know how to get. They think they know how to get there, but they need to have the mindset, and I feel bad, I feel guilty, and I'm just like, oh, guy, what did you do this weekend? Oh yeah, I couldn't do it anymore, man. I was out of town for 3 days and I just binged, man. I just binged. I couldn't do it. Just like,
see,
for what? So you have to start with the mind first. You gotta understand where you're going, how you're gonna get there. What does it feel like? What do you think it'll feel like? What do you think it'll look like? And then we can slowly start taking the path going forward. But if your
right?
mind, if you're not ready for your mind to be challenged first, forget the body. Screw the body. That's easy. But trying to
Yes,
tap into this, that's the hardest part. But for me, that's the reason why like I said, I'm able to feel so confident here working with Jewel is she'll give you that. And I'm not saying this because you know, right hand woman and this and that, and we work together, we're collaborating. It has nothing to do with that at all. It's what you need. Even me, even athletes, they have a preseason. They don't, LeBron James, the top athletes in the world. They don't just all of a sudden get into their season. They get into the preseason. They start watching footage. Their coaches start talking to them. They go over the playbook for a couple days. They have preseason games. They have games where they're just going through the motions. You know what I mean? So for you to think that, okay, I'm gonna right away, bam, 1 or 2 days, Monday. Everyone says it. Monday I start. No, it's already done with. Monday can start the mindset. Monday can start the process. But
yeah,
Your Monday of where you want to start is not the Monday of where we think you should start. You
right.
know? And so the biggest thing is your routine, your habits. What are you doing on your daily basis? And how can we make that better? We don't want to
Yeah,
add more. We don't want to add more. Adding more just causes less. You're just going to thin out. You're just spreading yourself thin and you just become not as potent. We want you to
yeah,
be as potent as possible. And the best way to do that is sit back, structure. If you work, this is not something where you have to be an entrepreneur. Even if you work a 9 to 5, you just have to be more accountable. I think a 9 to 5 is even better because you have a structure already for about 8 to 10 hours of your day.
right.
I'm gonna eat in the morning. I'm gonna have a good lunch. I'm gonna clock in 6 hours of hard work in the afternoon. Come back, get a little meal, go off for a nice little workout. do my journaling, do my meditation, I'm done. So you have that there, but people want to fight against that. Oh, if I wasn't working as long, if I didn't work all day, I'd have
See,
better time. Well, a workout is what, an hour most, and I'm talking about an hour most for prime. Like me, I don't even work out an hour, and
right.
I'm doing pull ups, squats, thrusts, jump squats, and I'm doing 20 to 30 minutes of cardio of high interval training, and I'm not even doing an hour, but it's consistent. That's why I'm saying, okay, I'm not going to go for an hour, but I'm going to make sure I go every day. You
Right.
know, so
Right. And if you're not used to working out, just start 20 minutes. I mean, what's 20 minutes of stretching? And then the next week, then you make it 30 minutes. Then the next week you can do 45 minutes. But you got to build yourself up.
yeah,
Nobody, unless you're used to working out, there's no need to do a whole hour because number one, it's not fun. Number two, do
exactly.
you really know the techniques or the different asanas you should be doing? It takes time to build. And another thing is, here's something I want to say. Sometimes people think they know what they're doing if you're working your core, if you're working your arms, if you're working your legs. It takes time to build
Mm,
a regime for yourself because
hmm.
everybody may not work on their gut. Some people may need to work on wherever the percentage, the high percentage of their
Yes, yeah.
fat is. It
Mm,
may be in their arms, it may be in their stomach, it may be in their thighs. So everybody's different. And
hmm.
that's why I think our platform is going to be different because we're able to tell them and talk to them on these hourly sessions. But if you're not getting scratched where you itch, then you need to come to our platform. Let us help you. Let us answer your questions. And then just simply, have a one on one. So that's what this is all about.
Hmm.
Yeah. So Martin, excuse me, back to you, Martin. I'm gonna let you take the platform. We've been on for 42 minutes. Is there anybody that wants to ask a question? Do you have a disease or a diagnosis that you need help with? What are you eating? If you have a disease or diagnosis, have you talked to your doctor about your diet, what you should be eating? Do you have cardiac problems? Has your doctor put you on a cardiac diet? Do you
Hmm.
need help with your recipes? That's what this session is all about, people. So come on, don't quit on us now. You're just getting started.
Yeah,
And that's the
yeah.
way I feel about it.
Yeah,
Mark,
no, I mean, I just as much as you're laughing about it, I'm just as serious about it and kind of fed up, you know. Over the last 5, 10 years, we've seen a lot of individuals, whether from trainers, coaches, celebrities, different professionals in specific professions coming out and saying, "Hey, this is what's going to work. This is what's going to work. This is what's going to work." And it's not working. Obesity rates are only rising, skyrocketing. You know, children are only getting bigger. You know, depression for prescription drugs for adults is only getting worse. So we have to eliminate this whole taboo of health and gym and health and hard and you know, I got losing weight struggle. The struggles are the struggles that you put in front of yourself. Not eating right for the last 5, 10 years, it's not something that is going to be come up that you haven't faced or that someone hasn't faced before, you know. So once you eliminate those challenges that you're putting in front of you, the challenges there that are going to be in front of you on a natural journey, you'll be able to take those on, you know. But I feel that the biggest challenge that people are facing as they get older is their mind or their body, their mind and their body. And if those are the biggest and hardest challenges that you're facing as you're getting older, who are we to blame besides
yeah.
you? You know, I don't see people getting older and worrying about Oh man, how am I going to take care of my 5 businesses that I started? Oh, geez, this is going to be a problem. No,
Yeah,
they think about, I can't breathe as long. I'm getting anxiety attacks. I'm getting panic attacks. I'm getting sweats, cold sweats in the randomly in the day. I'm not getting good sleep. I can't stay out. I can't stay out with my family as long. I get tired, and it's just like, well, those things that you're complaining about, you caused them. These are not things that
facts.
these are not, I'm not talking about someone who got, an amputee, disability, mental issues where you're diagnosed. Nothing of that nature. Though that's a different topic. We're talking about self-inflicting issues, self-inflicting
Right.
decisions that you made along the path. And I'm not. I'm going to sit here and tell you, if you had 5, 6 beers this weekend, it's not going to kill you. If you
Uh,
do it every freaking weekend and you're not taking care of yourself, guys, when is it enough? When? Until you're 45, until you're 50, until your belly's hanging out. You're like, oh, what is that over there? You know,
hey,
like there has to be some accountability. There has to be some type of, I'm not happy. And when you're not happy, there's nothing outside of your mind and your body that is going to give you that satisfaction.
say,
Nothing, nothing. It can
yeah,
be whatever drug you've ever done, whatever food you've ever eaten, whatever experience you've ever had. Oh, I was in the highest building in Paris and I saw the whole city and I could never get that feeling again. Whatever that feeling is, it will never be as good as a satisfying feeling as you have within you when you're on an aligned path, when you're on a aligned journey, being with vibrant individuals all going the same way, you know.
that's right.
So for me, I don't look, I don't look next to Jewel or look up to Jewel. I look at Jewel as a role model for a woman as well. This is someone that I want to push other women to listen to and family to listen to as someone to look up to, right? Because it just can't be me because I'm in my mid 30s, I'm a guy, but we can relate to pretty much just about anybody, you know what I mean? In terms of,
Right.
oh, can they relate? And then the second thing is, yeah, we can relate, but it's the messenger has the message, the messenger counts, but the message is just as important because the messenger is valid. The messenger is potent with going along this pathway. I mean, I've
Yeah.
seen it left and right where we hear about a priest doing all this good stuff for the community. All of a sudden, have like, oh, we didn't know he had a house that he didn't tell us about, or he had cars that, or a secret house in the across the country that we never found out about. And it's just like it's nothing to do of that matter of that nature, but we have problems. We have major problems. Drinking 4 or 5 beers a day is not normal. Wanting to crave eating out most of the week is not normal. Finding yourself having a drink, having to do drugs, having to do coffee, using some outside source to get you to think harder, longer, stronger, better, whatever it is. That's not a normal feeling. Now, I'm not going to sit here and say, oh, life's gloomy. Life's like flowers, beautiful, smooth. No, it's not. Heck no. This is reality. We all live in the same world, but it's how we're taking it on, how we're attacking it, and it's the mindset. It's all starts in the mindset. I think someone posted it earlier. They said everything starts in the mind. It literally does with whatever you want to do. That job that you got, that school that you graduated from, whatever you did, it started with an idea that you had sitting down, laying down, whatever. And you're like, you know what? I want to become a teacher. You know what? I want to graduate from school. You know what? I want to do this. And it all started here. And then the body followed actions, lifestyle, habits. It all
Right.
followed. The only thing is, everyone wants to be healthy, but it gets hard.
It
Okay,
does.
it does. So that's why we want to be able to say we know it does. It gets hard for me, and I'm plant based and doing all this kind of stuff. Jules complaining about her day and it's going 1,000 miles per hour. So we're not going to sit here and say, this is going to resolve your problems, but we don't want the problems to pile on. Back problems, ankle problems. I can't go. I'm not doing number two the right way. I'm waking up middle of the day, middle of the night. I'm not sleeping as good. Those are just, oh my. I'm scared to age and get those problems. I want to get problems that are like, wow, we never heard of this guy. We never heard of this before. This is new. Okay, but I don't want to go down the same way that everyone else is going down, or the same way that people are telling me not to go down. Hey, careful what you drink, careful what you eat, careful. Okay, so why am I doing those things and I'm still getting messed up? Let me take accountability. Let me be positive with my
Yeah.
with my moves and my actions, so sorry, maybe I didn't we started off talking about Valentine's Day snacks, and now we're getting into this. So it's it's
Hey,
Thursday.
it's okay because guess what? Nobody wants, we're asking people to come on. We're asking them to, you know, let us know what's, if they have a disease or if they have a diagnosis. Nobody said a word. Um, we're talking about not eating sweets to reduce the sugar content. This was a carryover from Tuesday,
Yeah.
so maybe they can go back. Everything is on archived on the Simply Jewel TV platform, so they're on it now. So the thing is, it's our hour session. We've got 10 more minutes. This is our first official live on Facebook and YouTube. So we don't have, there's nobody to answer to. If they're going to answer to anybody, it'll be me because it's my platform. So feel free to come on. They can vent, they can ask questions, they can talk about if they have a disease or a diagnosis. This is Thursday night Health and Wellness Live. So we welcome any question as long as it pertains to health and wellness. Yeah, we're here for them. It's a free session.
Mhm.
If they try to get in touch with their doctor today and the doctor didn't answer and they wanted to know, hey, doc, can I eat sweet potatoes? Hey, doc, can I have those greens when I'm taking a medication and you're not supposed to take it because it says high potassium? Ask us. We can talk to you about it. That's what this platform is about.
Yeah.
So, you know, so
Yeah.
yeah,
Excellent. Excellent. Yeah, and I love the fact that I know most people were wondering, but this looks great. Looks pretty smooth coming in and out of the videos and stuff. Getting people on, showing comments, showing if other people want to jump on video. And like
right,
Jules just said, this is your chance to get your personal question. And I bet your question, there's someone else that wants to ask the same question. So when we
yeah,
repost these, it's a chance for someone to be like, "Oh, I was going to ask that question. I'm glad they asked it, or I'm glad they
right.
answered it and brought it from there." So yeah, knowing that and knowing that we got a full hour, this is a chance for people to just be like, you know what? I don't have to spend a buck. Let me get some information. Let me pull some information out of these guys, and I know it'll benefit me in a good way.
That's right, because
Yeah.
we're here to answer questions. We're real people, we're real coaches, allied health specialists. Martin is also a coach. If you want to do some physical fitness, that's who you get in touch with. Also, like, comment, subscribe, share so that you can be the first to get on, and you feel free to click on the link. I put the link. It's on YouTube. If you want the link here on, um, I think I should have put that up there for you. Let me go back and put the comments, the link on there. Oh, we have another question here. So, okay. So Virginia says, my husband has kidney failure. What should he be eating? Well, I will tell you this. I don't the different foods that you should be eating for kidney failure. You definitely need to eat all the foods that are going to filter out your kidneys. That's something you definitely need to be doing. And let me see, I was trying to get back. Stand by. Martin, can you add to that question that Virginia is speaking on? And I'm
Yeah.
gonna,
So yeah, you hit it a little bit. Can you still hear me?
yes, I can
Yeah.
hear you.
Okay, yeah. For me, the biggest one is cauliflower. I know cauliflower is a big one, to help with kidney failure and kidney disease. The next one I would go into, that I always recommend. These are the three that I go with. It's cauliflower, red grapes, and blueberries. It won't throw off your meal, or if you're affected. If any of those ingredients or foods, they shouldn't really throw your body off too much. But like I said, they're good foods to kind of help with the kidney, give it that vibration, and like Jules said, help kind of get a little more out of the foods in terms of kind of, and to help with the kidneys as well. So obviously it depends on how along the process it is, but in
Yeah.
terms of keeping whatever is left as best as possible under the grow, those would be my three foods that I recommend. Obviously, there's going to be a list, maybe a top 10, a top 15, but I know off the top of my head, those are the three that I always shoot for. It's crazy. I've had, even my own relatives have had similar type of issues, and I found myself looking that up, and I've always remembered cauliflower, grapes, red grapes, and blueberries. From there, can kind of help. I'm not too, I can't really think of any much right now off the top of my head. I'd have to look a little more deep into it, and then obviously a meal plan that fits best for your husband and your family, with what aligns with you guys as well. And this is not something where it's like, oh man, we're gonna eat like pounds and pounds of cauliflower now. It's
You're right, right,
you
right,
know,
right.
it's something where you want
No.
to slowly introduce it, and then slowly, maybe then after that, then it can start taking over a little bigger portions of the meal, in terms of maybe adding different portions of the meal as well. Maybe let's start off with some blueberries. We'll add cauliflower to the entree. Maybe we can have some grapes at the end of the meal, and just slowly start incorporating some of those right foods into your meal prep, and from there. But those are the three for kidney issues and problems and failure. Those are the three that come off the top of my head from
Well,
there.
now to add to that though, now, Virginia, I would say the peppers, red, yellow, and orange peppers, they're high in vitamin C, they're low in carbohydrates, and I eat an awful lot because I too had a issue with my ferritin levels being elevated. And so that's cooking with a lot of peppers, but try that. Try the yellow, red, and orange peppers, then put the cauliflower in there. And it's high in potassium. So that's something you want to make sure that you're doing is increasing the potassium level. That's what helps with kidneys. Those are superfoods, by the way.
Mhm.
Anything we eat is the superfoods. So, Martin, uh, you having, is it connection problems, or what do you think is going on there?
No, for me, I'm getting text messages, and I'm just trying to take them away, and it's throwing my
Yeah.
screen and off. So I apologize.
Yeah, that's what happened to me. So I'm glad I'm on my laptop now and I'm able to not, I can maneuver better when I'm not on my phone doing these
Yeah,
lives.
I gotta
But
do that
on
next time. Yeah.
That's okay because you can use your iPad.
Hmm.
You can use your telephone. It happens, and like I say, it's our first time,
Hmm.
so we're perfectly fine. But that's all that I was saying. Let's see what else Virginia is saying. Okay, good. He loves peppers, so that's a good thing. Yeah, and Martin mentioned blueberries. Now, we'll talk about that too. If you guys are wanting to know what is the medicinal benefit of the
Hmm.
peppers, we do know that it's high in vitamin C. We also know for the blueberries, there's a certain chemical. And you mentioned what, cauliflower, the berries. What else did you mention?
And then the red grapes.
The red grapes. Okay, now The red grapes I notice in the grocery store, they have the chemical that is in the grapes is good for the heart as well. But it's also, they're telling people if it doesn't have seeds, then it's not real. It
Mm.
is not authentic. But with the black, um, well, not the blackberries, but with the red grapes, you can tell that it's authentic.
She just froze.
You can eat seeds. Okay, so it's doing some crazy stuff. I guess we're getting close to our. We just topped the hour, so
I got you.
maybe it's giving. I mean, who knows if it's giving us a sign? We usually can go at least 4 hours on this thing, but it's okay. But yeah, you're welcome, Virginia. Thank you for hanging on for the last hour. Um, and feel free, anybody that wants to come on, you don't have to, you can come on, you can be in your pajamas and still be on the platform with us. So it's okay to be lounging around, and it's okay. Just know that you can be yourself on our platforms. As long as you come on the platforms and participate, is perfectly fine. That way you can talk to us and let other people see that it's okay to be on the platforms just as you are. Okay, I see somebody that's in the background. Are you wanting to come on and talk to us? Please show your face if you want to come on the platform. Otherwise, you can just leave a comment, because that's what we do over here. We welcome you, but show your face. Otherwise, you can ask the question on the platform. Thank you. Thank you for your support. Thank you for coming on. Are you able to leave a comment in the comments section? If you want to come on the platform with us, please show your face. We're not having it over here, honey. I don't know who you are, but yeah, thank you. Have a good day. We're at the end of our session, and I thank you all for coming on. And like I said, don't come over here with that shenanigans. I'm going to let you know right now. I worked too hard to get this platform in order. And if you cannot show your face, what you will not do is pop in and pop out without showing your face. If you want to leave a comment, we will answer, but not today, not on this platform. And I hope you understand what I'm saying. I'm not trying to be ugly, but we work hard over here. Okay? And whoever that was, uh, I'm not mad at you. But you're not coming on my platform with that shenanigans. I want everybody to hear that. Let this be a lesson to you. And this is warning number one. You only get one warning over here. All right? So, with that being said, Martin, love you and peace and blessings. Stand by, and I'll say goodnight to everybody. Don't hang up, okay? Stand by. All right, everybody. I appreciate you coming on. I don't want to get ugly with people, but what you're not going to do is come over here with the shenanigans on my page. I've been on Facebook for years, I've been on YouTube for a while. I am trying to perfect my platform, and you're welcome to come on if you have questions. Show your face, but you don't have to be dressed to a nine. As you can see, I have on just my workout clothes. But if you're going to come on the platform, I do appreciate if you show your face. You don't have to be dressed up. And then if you become a regular, I will let you on the platform, but at least have your avatar so we can see who you are. But if you're planning on playing games, not on this platform. I'm not standing for it. I'm not having it. Okay, so everybody, this is the end of our first live, Health and Wellness Live. We will be back on. Hopefully, we will be on time next week, but stuff happens. So you got to be flexible and please bear with us because we're ironing out the kinks. Okay? Peace and blessings to everyone. Make sure you go to Simply Jewel Atypical Podcast. Make sure you grab the link tree for myself, also for Martin, and we'll see you on Tuesday, Instagram. We'll do a live Instagram Tuesday, 12 o'clock Pacific time, 1 o'clock Mountain Time. But you know what to do. Follow us on our social platforms. Peace and blessings, everybody. Good night.